Hello, hello, hello. How you doing today, Sagittarius? I'm here with your June monthly general guidance advice reading. So I hope everything is going all right. Your first card that came out, Sagittarius, was duality. One thing I could think about was the Sagittarius itself is representing in duality symbolism. The next card that came out that I looked at is the Swan and the Grace. The energy that's assisting the primary energy in this monthly reading, right? And then at the very end, the collaboration of the two turns out to be Brother Raccoon. Loyalty. That's what's coming up for you, Sagittarius. Loyalty and reward. Reward points. That's what's coming up. At least that's what I was hearing jiggling in the background anyway. Loyalty and reward points. So, what does it really mean? I don't know, because with the Swan and the Grace here, right? I mean, it seemed like it got to be something natural about you. What do you call it? Like, do you call it treat me the way I want to be treated? Do you call the loyalty go to the point of based on how long you know somebody, the kinship between the knowing of the experience and the longevity? I mean, there's many factors in it that determines, and many phases that could be used. And depending on where it's at, depending on what area of your life that is loyalty and reward point energy is at, determines a lot too, because you got a professionalism maybe stance, and then you got a socialism stance. So, and that's a form of duality. So it's like, it really just depends. I don't know which one is emphasized. It could be both, you know, just depending on who the Sagittarius is, to be honest. So let me go ahead and instead of trying to use so much of my brain, if that's what it's called anyway, let me get some cards to help out. It's how you take a break away from your body, transferring the energy into the cards. Get assistance. So this is a form of duality. Alright, let's get 4 cards, Sagittarius, and let's see what duality is talking about. So we have 4 cards that talk about duality. That was too many. Let's try it again. Let's see if we can get 3 more cards to come out of here, okay? Two more. Okay. So what came out is The Nine of Wands, the King of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, and the King of Wands. I need to take a video about this one right here. The reason I gotta take a video is because it's like alright, let's see. How do I explain it? The King of Pentacles and the Nine of Wands is almost like saying you need to have the ability to watch. The Queen of Swords is almost like you need to know when to speak. And the King of Rods is like you need to know when to act. So it's like a stage performance. So I think Macbeth is one of a performance arts that deals with loyalty. I think Romeo and Juliet is another form of dealing with loyalty. It's a couple of Medea plays that came out that deals with loyalty. I can't think of one of them where, I think it was early 2015 or 14, somewhere around there, where Child Protective Service had got involved and they had did this play. I forgot the name of the play though. But, you know, that's how these cards is feeling. It's like it's a play. But the thing is like it's a warning as far as reality goes. It's a warning, like either something, someone, the divine, is has set up this stage, and you are one of the main characters in it. Now, your character role might be more like an instigator, without knowing that you instigating, or maybe you do know. It could be maybe a message coming through to answer something that maybe you already had concerns about, and it's trying to tell you, yeah, you need to watch. Not just watch the environment, watch what you say at the right time in the environment, watch the way you move and you act. If you feel threatened, or I don't know whether the word is threatened, what is your, I guess it's better to ask you this question, what is your opinion about haters? And when it comes to this opinion about haters, include in the answer the proximity that this type of hater energy you about to express on how you feel about could be within your radar and without interrupting your energetic field. It's something like that. It's like an asteroid being close to Earth. Maybe we might need to be prepared for impact, but at the same time, if it don't impact, you still gravy as before. And how do you really prepare for impact at the same time? So it's like an oxymoron, unless you believe in the location that you're going to be hit by, you believe that you in that location going to get affected by it. I mean, it's just so many factors that play a role with it. And I guess I'm just saying that as an example when it comes to this energy. It's definitely a warning. It's definitely a warning that you need to take in consideration somewhere throughout the month of June. Somewhere throughout the month of June, you need to brace for some kind of impact. It could be a disappointing information. It could be something that can affect your family with the Nine of Wands there. Because Nine of Wands, to me, also represents stability. It does have the Four of Wands up inside of there and the Five of Wands. So, and with the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords and the King of Rods, it definitely can reflect your family being protective. How much is protective? Like, when I was talking about, I felt that loyalty thing. And now in family, like, ask yourself the real true question. We're gonna talk about it from the stance of like the Book of Job. Who will you be loyal to if it comes to something that you know that the person really did was fucked up? Where do the loyalty lie at, and what is the extent of the loyalty? And then in the process of it, how do you process it within your mental? Because not processing it, like the Queen of Swords could represent the subconscious up inside of here, where the King of Pentacles and the King of Rods is more the dictation and your masculine aspect of it. You know, using one part of your brain in a situation, and these two is doing their thing and they know the truth about the situation. But yeah, there's a sense of loyalty. Maybe, you know, for example, the system might be real fucked up or anything like that. And so your loyalty comes from that external factor, the system being fucked up, also determines how your loyalty is, not just who or what the situation, that direct situation is. In an indirect way, the system also impacts the way you apply your loyalty. So now let's go over here to Swan and Grace. You who glides across the water of my soul, bring me your wisdom and light. Help me transform into elegance and grace. Inspire me with dignity and the spirit of beauty. So yeah, that's definitely a form of reward points anyway. Whoa, that's a deep card. That's a deep card for the point of the message that I'm on, though. At the point that I am at. I guess because for me, it reminds me of learning the lesson on the transformation and wisdom that comes with loving heart, which is a form of loyalty. So, as you age, sometimes we be focused more on the fact of all the situations, the experiences that we're going through within life, reality life, that we give more credit to on where our wisdom come from. And sometimes that wisdom, you might not know that sometimes that wisdom been a mustard seed the whole time. And you're not wrong about believing the life experiences. The life experiences just so happen been what's watering it. But the strength and the courage to withstand the trials and tribulations through your life experience was from that mustard seed. And when things on the outside begin to change, when we don't realize that mustard seed is growing into this nice little, this life tree for us, right? Because we have a certain perspective. That's where duality would come in at. We have a duality type of perspective with maturity and wisdom in this world, and what actually dictates those things to be true. For example, we'll say maybe a 6-year-old kid might have wisdom, but when they get about 12 or 13, sometimes we'll start, without even noticing, we'll say they just maturing. So we deducted the wisdom to now maturing, which is a form of duality, and that's where the tree that's been growing and sprouting along with the lifespan begins to seem more like that wind, or that grace that glides across the water. It just don't seem to be important like that, but it's important to know and to love the container of the tree. Hope that makes sense for you. So let's get 4 cards to get clarification for the Swan and Grace. Can we have 4 cards for the Swan and Grace, please? Three more, please. One more. Okay, so you had the 9 of Wands that coming back out in continuation with the Swan and Grace. So, and you have the 3 of Pentacles with the Hermit card. So yeah, I mean, I think I get a little clarification about the secret box. And it, you know, the secret box is also the fact of something unlocking inside of you, such as a secret. But as the consciousness work, there still could be tangible evidence of a situation or event or something that can occur that makes everything more closer and more of the ability to understand the situation in a broader picture, especially with the 8 of Cups and the 3 of Pentacles here. I think there's a crossroad or some type of energy also about denial. A denial in happiness. Something about the way your structure or your definition of happiness coincide with this current era. I think somewhere up inside of that thesis that you have within inside of you, that you know for sure. No doubt. I mean, you might have different ways, even if you describe happiness to other people. If you had that conversation, you might express or do things that make you happy, and you assume people believe that you're doing it because you're happy, and unless you get upset and say, well, I thought you would have did this in return because I did that, and then, you know, that turns into a whole nother situation, because I'm talking about the real true thing about the happiness, but it still relates to that energy. And what I'm saying is about that happiness thing is your definition feels like it's a slight square. It's a slight opposition somewhere up inside of it in your definition. And I think that in that definition of happiness, I think It's either you need to spread it out wider, switch some words around, you know, like if it was all about a grammar statement, sentence. But it's something within that thesis that is definitely, I feel, going to come more closer to the light. Let me get to Brother Raccoon. Brother Raccoon, a safe place for you to go. And yeah, that happiness thesis is a safe place for you to go, but I don't know. I don't know. Something got, it's a little bit of opposition right there in it though. I'm not sure what it is, but there's some type of opposition within happiness in the way that you inspire and promote it, compared to the way that you believe it in your heart, your truest heart desire. And being that, probably because you hinting like that wisdom and all of that kind of stuff, is one of those things that could really make a difference as far as health, and not just mental health. But you know, we got receptors, and you know, senses and signals that go to different parts of our body. So you know, even on those part of health, and even on the point of, yeah, you might be comfortable at home and all of that good stuff, but being able to still stay physically fit sometimes, and in a tradition of chilling without feeling aches or different things happen once you get motivated, because the thing that you don't process might be something heavy inside of your mental space, and it might not be at the forefront as much as it might be in the back. And being that it's in the back, it could cause those kind of pains, you know, like spinal pains and all that kind of stuff, lower body pains. So it, you know, there sometimes these, like I said, you know, it feel almost like a warning. So, you know, maybe it's at that point in time where we all go through a transition, like far as height. We go through a certain amount of years and our height just sporadically grows, and then all of a sudden our height slows down. So it's one of these moments this energy feel like for you, Sagittarius. So let's get a clarification for Brother Raccoon. Can we have 4 cards to do this whole recap and see how this how duality, swan, and grace makes up Brother Raccoon? Too many cards. We just need 2 more. Okay, so we had a 5 of Cups, and we have the King of Wands. King of Wands seemed to be the one that's in common from the beginning. We have the 7 of Wands, and we had the King of Swords in reverse. So it seemed like in these combination energies right here, the main thing that it's talking about in your happiness is you getting jumped by the definition of happiness. And if you want to kind of end the fight for a little while, or knock some of the people out and keep fighting, or whatever the best scenario or the situation that really fits, then do this thing and find your grammar check. Find out what's really changed. Find out where there's opposition in the definition in. You know, find out how much flexibility do you have in that definition to make a difference for you. And I'm saying that because of the Seven of Wands and the King of Swords being up in reverse. It's not saying that it's just trying to say that it's trying to prepare you for something that maybe can knock you really off your feet, off your mental game. I'm just saying to recap it all. And what I'm saying also, it could be the fact of the loyalty. Maybe it's the fact that you spoiling somebody and having them really strongly codependent on you. And it's going to come a point in time where you want that person, you want to be codependent on that person. And you might be crossing that threshold of what happiness did you actually create? Even if it's with a child, a parent, a sister, a brother, cousin, homies, job, co-workers, whatever it might be in the situation. To do this whole recap. It's just whatever the situation is, I think you need to really figure out how much effort you're putting into it and really get yourself prepared on the fact of what is equality, especially with duality being here. Duality is a thing of equality too. It just depends on the way that you want to word it, phrase it, apply it to something. So, that's just going from synonyms and antonyms in the situation. So, I would definitely hope that you kind of, when the situation occurs, even if it comes to you applying for a bank loan or something like that, I think you need to make sure you read the fine print that's going on, that's in the situation. I think you need to be able to adjust, because things is going to be shifting quickly for the next couple of years in different situations and arenas, and it's all going to balance itself back out. But I'm just saying it's shifting, and maybe this is one of these things that is saying, okay, you could be very prosperous in this goal that you have, but even though it might be a year or a year and a half from now, we want you to kind of prepare yourself to the situation, to adjust to your environment, not adapt to it per se, because they might not want you to adapt to what is always shifting, but they need you to be able to maintain maintain that level of balance of energy that you have. And so it's all about that effort and what you put in, and those things really going to count in the month of June to lead to a real bigger picture. So good luck, Sagittarius.